Vance lay shivering as Rain stood over him. Opening his eyes, they seemed to have lost a good deal of their previous luster, almost a dark brown rather than gold.
"What did you do that was so terrible?"
he asked.
"Those people in the car. Why do they want you dead?"
Rain shrugged dismissively. "I've done a lot of terrible things. As for the chicken shits in the car, they're a bunch of amateurs, schoolmates trying to get a gold star."
"Why?"
Vance asked tiredly.
"What could possibly be gained by eliminating you, other than perhaps some peace and quiet?"
"Thanks," she snorted. "Why do you care?"
"Call it curiosity."
"They tried to kill me. At the last school I went to, I broke the rules. They wanted me gone, so I ran away." She evaded the details, figuring the last person who needed to know was him.
"Bullshit."
Vance shook his head. "Why should I give you the play-by-play?"
"Let me ask you. If there was a way to make them pay, to make them suffer the same way you did, if you could turn the tables on them and put them through your own handcrafted hell, would you?"
"You think I'm not planning on doing that very same thing? I made a hit list on the plane."
"You just got laid to waste on the side of your own doorstep by the people you called amateurs. Do you really think you're going to last 10 seconds playing Kill Bill? You're not even half skilled enough, and you know it."
"I was a little distracted with all your doom and gloom," Rain scowled. "I was the best they had, and they wanted a refund on what they taught me. Lesson number 1, I'm better than all of them. That's why they're reduced to pathetic drive-by shootings."
"Coming from a 16-year-old half-vampire hiding out in a high school?"
Vance arched a brow.
"When were you planning to extract your ultimate revenge? Seems to me like you're living in a fantasy world."
"I'm sorry, you're a thorn in my side I have to get rid of first. I was told to lay low, but let's face it, that never went well for anyone." Rain looked angry, and she was. "The game's changed, and since my schoolmates are the first to make their move, I'm going to be the next."
"Yeah, sure, and you'll get killed just as quickly. You only know how to fight on a physical level. Your darkness is a parlor trick compared to what's really out there. You know it, I know it, your little assassins know it, but what if there was a way you could make them suffer? Not only on this level, but on the next. If there was a way to achieve immunity, complete and total immunity from everything, everyone, and power enough to rule the world. If someone offered you a chance to be a god, would you take it?"
Rain started to laugh. "Come on, Vance, really? They don't know anything, and neither do you. Physical pain is a big deterrent, and it breaks down mental barriers. I have no desire to lead or rule, but nice try. Here's where we differ. I don't want to be a god. I want to live the way I want and be left alone by those who seek to manipulate and control me, or offer me something they can never give, kind of like what you're doing now."
"Who says I can't?" he protested. "I play fair. If you make a wager, you pay up, bottom line. I can make you invincible. I can make you whatever you want to be. You can make those fuckers pay in ways you never dreamed possible. You could have anything you wanted, anyone, anywhere. What's there to lose?"
"My soul?" She found his words amusing. "I guess we are pretty different. I don't want to torture unless I need to. A bullet to the head for each of them will do just fine."
"I don't want your filthy soul. I already told you that."
Vance grimaced again as the pain continued.
"I don't want to die, and I sure as hell don't want to cease to exist. Take these fucking things off of me, and I'll let you use my powers for whatever you want. No strings attached."
"I didn't mention anything about you helping me with my bully problem, so calm down."
"What about Liz? Let me try and talk to her."
"No," Rain answered sternly. "She's moved on, Vancelin. Soren's eased her pain, and you're not going to ruin that. I have no intentions of using your powers either. I can do things myself." Dropping his gaze, he sunk back down.
"Fine. Then go the fuck away and let me have my peace."
"Ah, so the fake sympathy was just for you to be unbound," she guessed. "Please, Vance, at least consider me smarter than Liz."
"Hey, it was worth a shot. What would you do in my situation?"
"I have other methods of persuasion," she laughed. "But at least I would have gotten the job done." Walking back into the house, Rain closed the door behind her, and it wasn't until around midnight that she realized he was still outside. Upon seeing him passed out in the dirt, she carried him upstairs and set him across the mattress. It took Vance a while to register where he was, though when he did, he wasn't sure what to make of it. Staring around the room with a dull yet curious expression, the moment he caught sight of her, immediately got up and went to sit in the corner. Rain woke about a half an hour later. "Where are you?" she asked upon realizing he'd moved.
"Behind you."
Sitting on the floor with his back to the headboard, he hadn't turned. "A thank you would be nice."
"For what?"
"I carried your ass up here."
"Ooh, big fucking deal, as if it's gonna make a difference."
"You know, I almost felt bad for you, but you sure do like to sabotage yourself."
"Yeah, sure. First you say you want to help, then you torment me for fun. Then you say you feel bad just to turn around and act like you almost give two shits. It's not enough you get to watch me suffer? Are you trying to drive me insane too?"
Rain fixed him a sharp look. "You tried to manipulate me, Vance. The victim game is getting old."
I didn't try to manipulate you. I tried to cut a deal. If you don't want it, fine. Get off my back.
Oh, yeah? And what was that whole part about you trying to make me feel as if I needed your help to get rid of my little pest problem? You asked why I was here and then tried to convince me you could give me immunity.
I wasn't lying, you retard. You're playing with my life here. And yeah, maybe Soren has a point when he says I'm motivated by myself, but I didn't think I would get landed in this situation. It's the devil's wager, a soul for infinite power. You let me keep my soul, I'll give you my service. Simple as that. You don't want it? Fine. Don't lead me along pretending like you might actually be interested.
It's not as simple as that, so tell the truth. What's the catch?
There's no catch. You have me by the balls here. You might have Soren looking to cut your head off with that Dawn fucker of his, but I can take care of that.
You will not use your powers to harm Soren, Rain said sharply. You serve me. She had made her decision. Soren bound us together. I'm going to let you feed to keep you alive, but that's it. I want you to live. The look of shock that crossed his face was actually genuine. Staring at the binds which vanished from his wrists and neck, he closed his eyes and gave a heavy sigh of relief. You're still at my mercy. I wouldn't forget that, Rain warned as she slid off the bed. I'm going to go drown myself in the bathtub now. When I come back, you'll feed.
That would be great, but we both know you're no more suicidal than I am. Though I guess you really do have a heart after all. My hero.
You disgust me. Rain cringed and slammed the door. Emerging with sopping wet hair, about an hour later, she left Vance in her room and headed downstairs. Hearing her descend, Soren looked up from his thoughts. Hey, Rain, you didn't go to school today. I'm done with school. I plan to leave, she admitted as she combed through her hair. I let him live. I'm sorry, Soren, I let you down. Shaking his head, he reached out and placed a hand on her shoulder. I'm trusting you to do the right thing. As long as your heart remains your own, I think you'll be okay. But if you ever turn into him, you know I'm going to have to get involved. I accept that. She understood his obligations. Good people tended to have them. My heart is always going to be mine, Soren. Relax, it's not like that. The smile returned to his face and he gave a nod. I trust you. So does Leah, and that speaks volumes. I wouldn't be so optimistic. It's a curse, really, he chuckled. Who knows? Maybe if we're lucky, some of that Darklight of yours will rub off on the little monster. Darklight? Is that what my energy is called? I don't know, but I've never met anyone like you before. You wield darkness, yet you don't let it define you. It's almost like you give off your own kind of illumination. I don't really know how else to put it. Maybe it's not darkness at all, but a little something in between. You're preaching to the choir. Anyway, I'm going to go make sure he doesn't ruin my room, she said as she headed back upstairs. Upon finding Vance on her bed, her expression darkened. Get off.
What's wrong? I don't make a good stuffed animal?
If I wanted a stuffed animal, I would have picked something cute that doesn't talk back. Catching the pillow as she flung it at him, he sat up and rolled his eyes.
You know, if we're going to be stuck together, we really need to work on your sense of humor, because damn.
We're not stuck together, you're my ball and chain. Rain closed the door behind her. And I have a sense of humor, you're just obnoxious.
Hey, I've made quite a profession out of being obnoxious, and I'm your ball and chain? Haha, now that's funny.
You're my responsibility. I feel like someone from Teen Mom, except I can't give you away.
I'm at least 3 years older than you, kiddo. You're way too young to be my mother. But if you want to take the job, you can start by getting me something to eat.
You sure don't act it, she scowled. And please, if I were your mother, I would have drowned you before you grew up to dress so badly.
This suit is worth more than you are, and if you were my mother, I would have drowned myself. All jokes aside, though, what do you say you let me off the fucking leash so you don't have to bury my corpse in your backyard?
Get your fat ass up then so we can go.
You know, that's not even funny.
What? Rain grabbed his sweatshirt. It's not like you date.
What the hell does that have to do with anything?
Vance followed her down the stairs and waited until they had left before addressing her again.
So tell me something. If you bite somebody with HIV, can you get vampire AIDS?
If we bite anyone whose disease is spread through the blood, we're pretty much screwed.
You serious?
The grin that adorned his face was quite distinctive. I stopped feeding off humans, so don't even. Besides, those kinds of diseases have a particular smell. She declined to mention that being only half vampire, she couldn't tell the difference.
Really? Well, you sure could have fooled me.
I'd make an exception for you.
I think you already did, although if what you just said is true.
Vance snickered. You don't have AIDS. Please, don't embarrass yourself.
I got something worse than that, honey, and for your sake, you better hope you don't.
Excuse me? Rain's tone darkened.
Grimdark is normally an energy manifested and wielded. However, as I'm sure you're aware, I'm special.
He gave her a poster smile.
That stuff is in my blood. It's one of the reasons why I'm immune to people like you, not to mention human disease. Thankfully, you didn't get me that bad, but I'd still go see a doctor if I were you, just in case.
If I ingested your blood, what would happen? Rain kept a straight face, although she started to feel sick.
You seen Rose, right?
I'd become your minion? She snorted. That'd be ironic, wouldn't it? I'd still control you.
Well, no, you wouldn't become my minion, you'd just be a Darkmite, which would still be funny as hell. I wouldn't worry too much, though. It's been almost a month. You would have exhibited symptoms by now. But just for future reference, if you ever decide you want to sink your teeth into someone.
Says the person who willingly bit into my shoulder like I was a piece of meat. I wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole.
I bit you because you took away my other options.
He reached over and poked her shoulder just to spite her. Yeah, that's great, you sicko. Who the hell does that?
Made you let go pretty fast, didn't it?
Yeah, because it was disgusting. I mean, what are you, a vampire?
Technically, yes.
Please, if you were, you'd know how weird it is to bite another.
The term vampire is a broad one, Vance replied. Humans use it to categorize the classic Nosferatu type, but you're not one of those, not entirely. Then you have succubus and incubi, emotional vampires, energy vampires, certain elementals, and a specific classification of high-ranking demon. Then me, of course. The term is general, but anything that feeds off of life force energy, physical or otherwise, can be lumped into the same category.
Whatever, we can be as distantly related as you want, but if I've put a bullet through an incubus, I can certainly put one through you, she smiled, exposing her fangs.
Oh, that's cute.
His own lips peeled back, and he gave her a grin lined with pencil-length daggers. Don't call me cute, you'll make me throw up. If she was fazed by his teeth, she didn't show it. I bet finding a dentist is a real pain. Vance laughed, and his teeth returned to normal.
Please. Anybody ever stuck their hand in my mouth, they'd lose it. I remember the first time someone tried. It was actually very amusing.
I'm sure said person didn't think so.
Practically shit their drawers.
He snickered as his eyes fell on a local McDonald's, which was currently occupied by 7 or so people, as well as half a dozen employees. Arching a brow, a smile crossed his face, and his gaze slid back toward Rain.
Go occupy yourself for about 10 minutes.
You're only using your energy to claim 2, and do not summon your minions. I'm going to watch.
2 ain't gonna cut it, babes. 15 might, but regardless, I'm not gonna summon anything, and you don't want to watch this. I know that's kind of like asking a cat to bark, but for both our sakes, you're gonna want to listen.
Don't call me that, Rain said hotly. 3, and I'll let you use your energy. Do not make a mess and clean up after yourself. Make it look like the humans did this. Oh, and I do plan on watching, she insisted, figuring it was a surefire way to keep from feeling too sorry for him.
So let me get this straight. You'll let me use my energy to devour 3 people as long as I dispose of the bodies and make it look good. Those are your specifications?
Rain thought about it and sighed. You will not use your energy to maim anyone else, summon your mites, or damage any of the property. You'll make it look like a terrible accident, not like you have in the past where people just disappeared. Speculation is not an option. Make this a textbook murder case or something similar.
Okay, so grimdark, 3 people, and make it look like a massacre afterwards.
Don't fuck with me, Vancelin. Offering a grin, he started for the door, having every intention of listening when it came to the parameters of her request and nothing else. Casually adjusting his sleeves, he stepped inside and strutted up to the register. You gonna order something, pal? The teen asked as Vance reached into his pocket.
Yeah, sure.
All the doors to the building suddenly locked, and he went to grab the boy by his shirt. Opening his jaws, Vance sucked him dry, dropped the decimated corpse, and turned to face the horrified customers as 3 tendrils of pure black energy shot up from the ground. 2 small children and 1 teenager were ensnared by a lengthy claw that embedded into each person's chest. Draining every drop of life, he left the bodies unharmed while the tendrils vanished and he lunged for the adults. It came as a frightening revelation that the grimdark he wielded and his capability to devour souls were not one and the same. Rain realized she had erred and her heart lurched. Her mistake was evident, though if she stopped him, everyone would know and rumors would fly. Once he was finished with the guests, Vance turned on the employees. All the while, keeping with Rain's requirements, he finished them and planted a single bullet of black energy in the back of each victim's head. Noticing the look on Rain's face when he walked out, he pocketed the register money and rolled his eyes.
I told you not to watch that, he sighed. Now before you go apeshit, as you're clearly about to, a few key points. I followed your little rules. You said devour 3 people with my energy and make it look like a robbery. It's kind of your fault, considering that stupid amulet thing forces me to obey. You must have been telling the truth when you said you didn't kill people. If you thought I could just walk into a place like that, kill 3 people with grimdark, and the rest of them weren't going to scream demon the first chance they got, he shook his head. Maybe if you actually hunted instead of getting your blood supply from the hospital, you would know that. Here, go buy yourself something pretty.
He tossed the cash in her face. You chose the McDonald's, Rain spat. I've hunted before, so shut up. She held back tears, however he did have a point. Her rules had been foolish. It was a beginner's mistake, one that cost many people their lives, and she knew quite well she wasn't going to be sleeping that night. For some reason, Vance didn't chew her out. Instead, his expression actually faltered.
"Now you know why personality doesn't matter,"
he said as he turned to walk in the direction they'd come. Rain said nothing. She hadn't even bothered to take the money. Watching her trudge upstairs, Vance plopped down on the sofa while Soren walked in from the kitchen. "I'm going to hear about this on the news tomorrow, huh?"
"Shut up."
Not one to be left without an explanation, Leah followed Rain. "Don't leave," she pleaded as Rain guzzled a drink with both hands. I have to go somewhere busier, somewhere disappearances aren't generally noticed." "Rain, you were told to stay here." "They told me a lot of things, Leah, and nothing has been done. I can't live like this. I need to go. I promise I'll call." "Where are you going to go?" "I don't know. I'm taking the bus somewhere big. That's all that matters. Don't tell Janny, okay?" She grasped Leah's hands. "Please, Leah, you're my best friend, but I need to do this." "Is she all right?" Soren looked up once Leah left Rain's room. "She's leaving tomorrow," the girl cried. "She's leaving because she doesn't want to be trouble, and I don't want her to go." "What if you went with her?" he suggested.
"What? I can't leave. This is my home, my team, my family.
Rain doesn't want me to go anyway." Soren tried to think of what to tell her. "Maybe she just needs time. You're her friend, Leah. She knows that. She's trying to protect you. Rain has to make her own choices, just like you have to make yours. I'll keep an eye out for her, but I think it might actually be better if she did take a vacation." "I know," Leah admitted. "I know she wants to go alone. She's right, but I wish she wasn't. I'm going to miss her." Soren gave her a hug. "Hey, it's okay. You'll see her again. She's your friend. Nothing's going to change that. Doesn't matter how far apart you are." Burying her face in his shoulder, Leah was glad for the much-needed embrace. "Thank you, Soren. I know things are confusing right now, but they'll turn out good in the end. You just gotta have faith." "I do." It took her a moment to calm down. "I'm gonna get some rest, okay?" Soren nodded and walked back to the couch, unaware that nobody had been paying attention to the fact Vance was still outside. Rain had headed downstairs, eyes somewhat puffy as she opened the door to search for him. Sitting on the porch, she barely noticed. His clothing fit again, and his eyes had regained their previous luster. However, something was still off. Staring into the distance, his expression was vacant, harboring an almost troubled air. "What's your deal?" Rain asked coldly. Shifting his gaze, he almost hadn't noticed her.
"What do you want?"
"Your time here is up. I don't trust you alone."
"Yeah, whatever."
Without putting up a protest, he got up and opened the portal. "Aren't you happy you fed?" Vance didn't look back.
"I guess."
"What? Did you want me to offer you dessert?"
"No."
Rain noticed his expression and realized that perhaps he felt remorse or even ashamed of his condition. "You can take my bed if you want." Slightly confused, he turned to study her.
"You know what it's like to be haunted by something?"
"Of course I do."
"I figured you would. I lost everything in the matter of about 3 minutes and 2 Rottweilers. It was my dad's bright idea to let everyone watch. I don't know why, but for some reason, they always have that same look. I hate that look."
"I thought animal souls didn't work."
"I was a kid back then. That was before initiation."
"You can take my bed."
"Keep it."
He turned away.
"I know what I am, all right? I know what's really going through your mind right now. Same thing that goes through everybody's mind. You don't have to stand there and degrade your own morals over it. Nobody else would."
"I didn't know you'd become a mind reader," Rain said calmly. "We're leaving tomorrow. Take my bed. Get some rest. I gave you the rules tonight. Next time I'll plan better."
"Won't matter,"
he said with a shrug, and solely refused to do anything other than walk toward the portal. "I didn't order you to leave."
"Maybe I'd actually want to."